Simon Bates with a story of one of rock and roll's wild men.
Most people have a special song or a special piece of music in their life, but this art tune is the story of one man who never did, and he had every reason to wonder why, until the answer arrived last year. Rick was a rock musician, a rock icon if you like, and with the epic rock and roll lifestyle came some pretty epic drinking.
I was a very heavy drinker. I mean, I started drinking when I was about 14. And I was the only person who was legless when I did my A-levels, you know. In fact, I was legless when I did my O-levels, let alone anything else.
As the rock projects got more grandiose, so did the bar bills.
I used to drink port and brandy in pint glasses, so I'd easily do a bottle of port and a bottle of brandy a day, plus a few pints and some wine with dinner, and that was not an unusual day.
By his mid-20s, Rick had married twice and suffered a heart attack. And then that unique music business phenomenon, the money ran out.
You could go from having a huge house in Les Monts-de-Corsier in Switzerland, you know, houses in the south of France, and a huge car collection, lots of keyboards in a studio, and suddenly you've got a suitcase, 30 quid to survive for the week, and debts running up round your ear rolls.
For a time, Rick was reduced to sleeping on park benches, and then he met Nina. Now, Nina had three great things going for her. She was a beautiful model, she had a house, and she had a piano. Rick sat down and wrote a piece about the Falklands conflict. He'd been the last British rock star to play Argentina before the outbreak of war, and he was horrified that young people who'd enjoyed his concerts in Buenos Aires and in the UK might now be killing each other. The tune he wrote, he called Gone But Not Forgotten, for the families on both sides who had a loved one away at the war.
This piece I wrote in about 6 minutes, and I felt so good. I can't tell you how good I felt doing that. I knew I'd written something that, okay, some people might not say is the greatest tune in the world, but I knew that it was something that was very special.
Rick's piece had a lot of radio play during that short, brutal conflict, but when it was over, the letters started to come, a steady stream from people who'd suffered a loss. Maybe a child had died, a parent, or even a pensioner's much-loved animal companion.
They wrote to me and said they had incredible comfort from hearing this piece of music because they know, you know, why it was written, that it was written emotionally, and that they found that when they played the piece of music, it didn't give them bad memories, it just gave them wonderful memories of, even if it was a short period of time they had with somebody they loved.
Gone But Not Forgotten became one of the most requested numbers at Rick's performances. He could never get away without playing it.
And it sort of became not my piece anymore. Any emotion that I'd had of writing it through, because of the Falklands crisis, sort of went. And it really suddenly became not mine anymore, and it belonged to almost everybody else who'd lost somebody.
Well, Rick gave up the booze and married Nina, but he always wondered about that tune until October the 13th, 1996, when his mother died. It had been a long and painful struggle for her against cancer, and mother and son were very close. So when Rick came back from the hospice for the final time, in a daze, he wandered into the lounge, and there was a grand piano.
And I sat at the piano, and again, totally unpremeditated, I played Gone But Not Forgotten. And I had all these wonderful pictures going through of my mum. Everything, it was like a rerun of a film, my mum when I was a little boy. It was incredible. It was just like a whole, going back in time, rerun pathé news of my mum and me, little things for childhood. And as I finished the piece of music, I was in the room at the hospice with her. And I got up from the piano, and it was like all the weight had been taken off my shoulders. And I went back into the kitchen, and Nina was really upset. She obviously knew why I'd played it, even though I didn't know at the time. And there was nothing said. There didn't have to be anything said. But I'd found my tune.
It had taken a long time and, of course, involved personal loss. But the next time that Rick got on stage and performed Gone But Not Forgotten, the tune that seemed to mean so much to so many people seemed finally to have come home to its creator.
I went on tour shortly afterwards, and quite unashamedly, I played it for my mum every night. I said, you know, you can do it for who you want to do, but it's mine now as well.